overthinking, trying to be a perfectionist, and also repeated patterns of thinking that can also hinder your developing skills journey. Whatever you want to call it, this can definitely hinder and cause some obstacle. When you know something, you think a lot. I'm not referring to overthinking, but you have a tendency to think much, to go beyond a particular point when you have many thoughts, when you want to be a perfectionist, when you feel that something is not right, but you're hooked to the recurring patterns of thoughts. Today's video is all about this. I'm going to give the pointers through art. Even if you're not an artist, it's okay. You can just watch the video. You like enjoying the video, right? So just watch the video and take note of these pointers, because these are the pointers that actually helped me. And you can definitely pay attention to it. So I had problems with my wrist maybe 8 months back. The doctor asked me to take an x-ray and he said, you can give more exercise. So I told him, I cook, I write a lot, but that's not enough. I wanted to immerse in art, craft, and also drawing. You may like something else. There are people who go to different places to get exercise, to give exercise to their hands and legs. So I wanted to go back to art because that is something that connects me to language. You can also find out something like that. Here it's not about mandala and painting. I'm not a mandala artist, but still I want you to just be with me through this journey. So would you stay with me? I just want to share this journey of mine with you, and would you be with me? It's just that I want to take you through these baby steps of learning to work on this and art journaling, which is already available on my Instagram page. So we all begin this way. And one more thing that you have to keep in mind is whatever you're doing, just embrace the effort. So I'll be speaking about these 3 points and you can take a look at that. So here you can see I am doing this mandala art. Even if you're not an artist, just watch me. You can watch the recurring patterns of rings and designs. You can think of any other art other than mandala art. So here there is something known as perfectionist paralysis. You know when this happens? This happens when you fear making mistakes. You would have been learning a language for some time. 1 or 2 mistakes, of course, it's pardonable. But sometimes people fear making mistakes when you are trapped in the perfectionist paralysis. That is, you feel you haven't done anything all your life just because you're making these mistakes. The problem is you're not focusing on the solution, you're focusing on the problem. That is a trend today, to focus on the problem despite having many options. Now here in this mandala art, did you notice that I was trying to make these patterns, and it doesn't happen just in one single stroke. You need repeated strokes. You have to bend the pen, and sometimes you can see that I'll be using the compass, okay, to draw the circles to get it in perfect shape. So nothing happens in single stroke. Sometimes you have to use the pencil and then use the pen. It depends on how much you know and how much you want to exhibit on the paper. Whatever it is, we don't have to aim towards perfectionism. You can just give your best, because the other things, the sincerity of your effort and work will come that way. So don't get trapped in the perfectionist paralysis. You have to embrace your mistakes. You have been doing something, embrace that effort. And remember, nothing happens in a single stroke. You may have to keep learning as you make and learn those beautiful strokes. Focus on one layer of communication at a time. Start with basic vocabulary. Like for example, you can use words that you read or listen to. And finally, add the shading of nuance and advanced idioms if you're working on the idioms. So if you try to draw the outer ring before the inner one here in this mandala, the proportions will be off. And this happened to me when I was learning it. Language works the same way. There is a pattern and of course there is a sequence. You need to be guided if you're not sure of this. Just now you got to hear about the layered growth, where you need to give time to layers. The second point is repeated patterns. Whenever I do mandala, sometimes I have to repeat the patterns. This happens in learning journey also. It's good to repeat because repetition helps with registering the words, also with recycling the words in different contexts. But there's another side to it. If you keep repeating the same sentences and if you keep repeating conversations with the same people, you're not going to learn anything. If you keep repeating the same type of books and content, you're not going to learn anything. There will be something in different YouTube channels, different resources. You have to expose yourself to different resources and explore. That is all about language. Get used to different styles. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have your favorites. You'll definitely have your favorites. Keep your favorites aside, but just expose yourself to different types of writing, communication, content. Even if you are learning an instrument, expose yourself to different musical notes. Number 2, I was speaking about the comfort zone. Notice how every layer of your drawing introduces a slightly different pattern, swirls, lines, or dots. To improve your skills, you must consciously introduce pattern breaks. If you usually write, try speaking. If you usually read news, try reading poetry or prose, whatever you like, but never news all the time. And one more thing, if you just love speaking to people, add different patterns. You have to expose yourself to different types of conversation, communication, and content. Forcing your brain to navigate a new design prevents cognitive stagnation. You'll never stagnate, you will expose yourself to different types of resources. So here, I keep repeating the patterns, and sometimes I try to improvise the patterns inside different shapes. But still, sometimes we end up repeating. When it comes to a journey, generally people love to keep repeating within their comfort zone. They love to be a perfectionist. They don't want to make mistakes, but they always love to be in the comfort zone. This happens during the training sessions also. People say, ma'am, I've been trying different means, but still I'm not growing, I'm not proceeding. I'm not able to proceed, I'm not able to progress. You have to change your patterns. Maybe you're not in your comfort zone. Maybe you're experiencing some kind of stress and pressure, but you have to change that pattern. You can't expect your mind, your organic brain to stretch and grow just like that. Repeat, register, change the strategies and the patterns. The third point, get used to different people. English is a global language. It aims in connecting different people, different culture. You could be comfortable with people from Asia or from Europe or from the Middle East. You can converse with different people. Even if you don't like some people, if you don't prefer listening to a particular group of people, expose yourself to different people. Sometimes the best to improve is to stop drawing and simply sit with that you have learned. Sometimes the best way is to stop learning and just reflect on what you have learned. Use whatever you have learned. Communicate with different people and do not restrict only to what you like or what you're comfortable. So here, I was very comfortable with only one pattern you can see here, but then I started allowing myself to learn different patterns. Similarly, allow your brain to process the connections between words and concepts in the white space of your day. Do not ever allow discrimination. If suppose it enters your mindset, shoo it off. Silence and listening are just as vital to fluency as speaking. And if you're going to create discrimination, if your mind is not growing, if you do not allow your mind to grow to differences, you will never be able to embrace English as a culture, English as a language. You will not grow with English. I'm not saying that you have to follow the culture of the English people or anybody who speaks English. It's about acknowledging, even if you don't tolerate, even if you don't accept, acknowledging that we are connecting. Here also you may have your favorites. That is absolutely okay. But do not end up discriminating others. I'm not referring to just one or two types of discrimination, but language should never do that. Okay? That is why we are trying to teach using ELT, English Language Teaching Methods. It's standard, it's proven, it's researched, it's growing every day, just like how you're working on your language skills. I hope you liked this video because I was trying to show through art how I worked on different patterns. This is what I've been guiding through the entire training sessions. I ask learners, I always tell them also, I tried explaining the 3 simple points through mandala. I'm not an expert. I'm not a mandala artist. There are people who draw and design better. they improvise. But here, when I began my journey, I was so used to one pattern, the simple pattern. And that is not boring. Definitely, when you get used to simple patterns, you can become a master of that. But I wanted to explore and find out different designs. You would have seen how artists move their hands. I wanted to give some exercise to my hands. I had problem with my wrist. Okay, long back, if you check one of the videos, I really wanted to give some sort of exercise to my wrist, my hands. Of course, we all cook. We work a lot at home, but still, I think I had to give some sort of exercise to something that I want to connect with language as well. So, art journaling, language. So, this has been helping me through the language therapy sessions as well. I'll just take you through my diary pages. This is how I began. Nobody is an artist in the beginning. I don't have any intentions of helping people with art, but this is something that helps me professionally and personally. I just began drawing the lines. Initially, it was not very easy. I used the compass also. So then I understood that you have to use the compass all the time. And these are collaboration works for some jewelry groups on Instagram, and they just loved it. So when I got some encouragement, I found confidence in something that I was trying to learn, and that is mandala. The great benefit of mandala is it gives you some sort of confidence, relaxation, and you feel happy that things are working out. You feel calm. You may have solution in front of you, but sometimes you'll not be able to find the solution. So here this helps, and these are the pages from another diary that I showed you just now. If you really want to begin with patterns, let's not focus on mandala if you're not interested. You can go for these books. It's available on Flipkart, it's available online, even on Amazon. You can begin just coloring the patterns. You don't have to draw the patterns. Yes, and there are some benefits to mandala art. Psychologically, it helps you with being calm, developing peace, happiness, relaxation. It also prevents you from overthinking. Mostly, we all have solution to every problem, but we may forget to focus on it. Now, you may ask me, what is the connection between mandala art specifically and developing language skills? Of course, I'll give you two main pointers. There are more to it. First is people are struggling with focus. It definitely helps with improved focus and pattern recognition. For example, when you speak, sometimes you may lose track of what you're trying to say. It can be a simple thought. So, mandala art or any form of art, it can be dance or anything that you want to work on, helps in improved focus. Because we are living in the digital era, we are forced to fast paced learning and speed. The second point is vocabulary association and symbolism. This means when you learn a new word, you will be able to effortlessly connect. You will be able to understand the visual form of the word. For example, if you take the word tree, and if you think it's a new word for you, you will be able to comprehend the visual meaning. That is, you will be able to imagine clearly and also spell the word. Today, many people struggle with spellings. Have you noticed that? Even words like video or comment or speaking, beautiful, all these are simple words, yeah. But it's because of the fast paced world and wrong methods of learning that you forget whatever you already know. So you will be able to focus on these main pointers. And there are more benefits to understanding and working on art. So I'll be introducing these kind of segments in my language therapy one-to-one sessions. Many learners are already a part of it. And when I train you individually, I will also know what exactly you are going through. There was a time when I was not able to focus properly on the words. There was a time when I was not able to bring about the fuller sense. I mean the fuller meaning of a word in a context. But today, I think art, reading, everything helps with better focus. And when you put in effort, do you think the universe is not going to pay attention to that? No. So let's look at the better part of it and help ourselves. It's not about how great an artist you are. It's about how you embrace the effort. And these pointers will definitely help you if you're going to take it in the right sense and if you pay attention till this point. okay, of the video. Thanks for staying with me. And this is Renee Rose Matthew. Happy learning.